Hello everybody, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be having a look at how we can transform this engineering drawing into a 3D CAD model. Okay, so this is example 004 and it's basically a pipe with some fins attached to it. So in order for us to do this, we're going to have to use slightly different skills than what we've normally been practicing. So we're going to use something called the sweep tool. Okay, so this allows us to make this kind of geometry. So we're going to start off by starting Creo. So PTC, Creo parametric. So as always, we're going to set the working directory. Click OK, and then we're going to start a new part. And untick the default template. Click OK, and change it to millimeters. Okay, we're going to start off by just showing all of the datums. And first thing we're going to do is set the sweep path. So it's a little bit different to what we've done before. So the sweep tool is basically an extension of the extrusion tool. So extrusions will always generate a solid perpendicular to the sketch, whereas the sweep tool will extrude along a specified path. Okay, so this is quite helpful when we're generating things like tubing. So in order to do this, we can sketch our path first. So we first need to select a plane. So we're going to click top, and then we're going to click sketch. So now we're in the sketch view. What we're going to do is generate a line. So let's change this to sketch view. Click on line, snap to the center, click, oops. So click on line, then we're going to snap to the center, snap this out, and press the middle mouse button. And then what we're going to do is click on the center and point. I'm going to align my cursor to the end of the line that I've just drawn, and then move up vertically. So you can see I've got this guideline that means that they're both um, in line with each other. And what we're going to do is just click the center and then make it tangent to that line. So click when we're intersecting the line, then press the middle mouse button. Okay. So now we've got a line with a circle. So let's set the dimensions. So this needs to be 100 and the diameter for this circle needs to be 50. Let's reset the view. And I need to delete a portion of this circle. But if I try and do that straight away, it won't work. It'll try and delete the whole circle. So I need to use a divide tool. So we've got this divide tool here. So I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to divide this circle into a segment here. So at the top, if I click, you'll notice there's a tiny little dot that's there. And that means that this is now two segments forming the circle. So if I press the middle mouse button, go back to delete segment tool, I can now delete half of it. So if I click there, I've deleted half of that circle. So now I've got a path for most of the path's complete now for my pipe, for my tubing. So if I click the middle mouse button again, I'm pretty much there. So we're going to click OK. And so if now I rotate the screen, you can see we've just got a sketch. Now what we need to do is start the end trajectory for the path. So again, we're going to select, but this time we're going to select the front plane and then go to sketch. Let's go to sketch view. And we're going to use the center and circle tool and just move down. So we know that this line is at the end of our sketch. So if I move down here and join that to the end of that line, press the middle mouse button, and we'll change the diameter of this to 50. Okay, we need to delete an unwanted segment of this circle, but again, I'm going to have to divide this first. So if I click divide, divide there, press the middle mouse button, and then delete the segment there. Okay, so click OK. So now we can see that I've got this line that goes over two different planes. And so this is going to form the path in which we're going to use the sweep tool. But let's first save. Okay. And so now what we need to do is select the sweep tool. So it says sweep just here. So click that. And just a few things that we want to check. So check it's solid and check it says selection unchanged. Now we need to click the first part of our sketch. So we need to define the path in which our sweep will follow. So I'm going to click the first part, then I'm going to hold shift, click this second part, and you can see now we've got this whole line highlighted in green. We've got an arrow at one end showing the direction, and then we've got an orange point at the other end showing where it will terminate. Okay, so that looks fine. And what we now need to do is draw the section that we would like to be swept across along this trajectory. So you see here it says sketch, so we're going to click that. And we've got these reference lines and they're aligned at the end of our sweep path. Okay, so let's go to sketch view. And what we're going to do is use the circle tool. We'll draw a larger circle, and then we'll draw a smaller circle. And we can change these diameters. So we need them to be the larger one to be 10, smaller one to be 8. Oops, 8. And we can click OK. Now if we zoom out, you'll see what's happened. So it's taken that sketch that we've just done and it's dragging it across this whole path that we have defined. So we click OK. So we're nearly there. We've got the main path and the tubing completed. So we're going to click Save. So we're going to use the Revolve tool to create one of our fins and then Pattern to create the rest of them. So the first thing we're going to do is click Revolve and we're going to use the front plane. Okay, so if we go Sketch View, nicely positioned. And then we're going to use the rectangle tool and we're going to draw a rectangle using the corner rectangle tool. And we're just going to make sure that we're on the top surface, click and drag out this fin here. Okay, so we can change some of these dimensions. So the height of the rectangle should be 10. The width should be 1. And we want to change this distance. So the distance from here to this first fin should be 4.5. Okay. As we're revolving, we need a center line. So we're going to click center line and we're going to make sure that we have a center line. So click in that intersection and then a center line along the center of our tubing. Press the middle mouse button and click OK. So you can see we've got one fin that's being revolved. Obviously we should make our checks. So it's a solid and it's revolving at 360. So if we're happy, we click OK. So we've got one of our fins. Let's just save. And now I'm going to use the pattern tool to pattern this fin along this central part of our tube. So what we're going to do is click Revolve 1 and then click Pattern. So we need to change some of the features up here. So we're going to select, the first thing we're going to set is the direction. So we're going to change this to direction. And we are going to select a different plane. So we're going to select the right plane. So we're directioning from the right plane. Okay, we need to add a number of members, so we're going to add 19 in here, and our spacing should be 5. Okay, you may need to flip depending on how you've made your model, but for me, that's looking good. And I'm going to click OK. We can see now we've got all of our fins patterned along our tubing. So if we click Save, let's tidy up the view, change it so we see the edges. So that's how we generate example 004 using Creo. Thank you for watching.